Getting out of debt, particularly credit card debt, I think is obvious for many reasons. One in particular, you want to get rid of those high interest payments. You also want to decrease the amount of money you spend every month or what goes out the door every month because of things like this. I came across a couple articles and there's many YouTubers talking about them. I like one in particular, Rebel Capitalist and others. But they're basically pointing out that these reports are coming out that corporations are having problems with debt. No kidding, because the Fed is raising rates. The Fed is raising rates. They want to bring down inflation. One of the ways of doing that is to simply put some of these companies out of business or make them lay people off and fire people. So why you want to get out of debt? Another good reason. And I think it's imperative in the next 6 months, 12 months. I'm not even sure exactly when, but we could have some big problems in the real estate market, asset values of stocks, commodities, you name it. So look at this. Companies surged 176% in the first 18 months of 2023 compared to the same time last year. That the defaults by these companies surge. What are the defaults? The defaults are not being able to pay their loans. Report that came out by Goldman Sachs, they put out reports all the time, they're excellent, saying that 800 billion of liabilities will mature in 2024. In other words, they're going to have to either pay it off or refinance that debt. Then $1 trillion in 2025. So you'll see a lot of articles talk about $2 trillion in the next 2 years. If those companies default, aren't able to refinance it or do refinance it at much higher rates than they were used to, well, they're probably either going to go out of business or have to lay people off or make some other cost-cutting moves. So that is going to affect, obviously, jobs. And here's another article regarding $2 trillion of corporate debt. It's the same report. It's on Yahoo Finance. And they point out that they're looking at around saying 5,000 jobs per month lost in 2024. In other words, in 2024, 5,000 people a month will lose their jobs. Maybe 10,000 a month in 2025. It could be worse. It may not be that bad. We don't know who's going to jump in. The government loves to jump in and do things like print money, or the Fed might make changes. We really don't know. Another one here, and this is referencing, as I think the other two articles did, this individual Stephanie Pomboy. All I can say is I've seen her many times, and I've followed her on various sites and podcasts, and I've seen her background, and she is amazingly impressive. One of those individuals that you just want to listen when she speaks, and she's been right on many things, and she is pointing out that she thinks, based on some of the corporate bankruptcies and some of the various market factors in play right now, this is September 2023, that what could come out would be worse than the 2008-2009 financial crisis. And remember that as obviously jobs lost and the real estate market taking quite a dip. But if she's seeing it as worse than 2008-2009, whether she ends up being right or wrong, what is the downside of trying to get rid of as much debt right now as you possibly can? The downside's nothing. You get rid of debt. And I would say take some drastic measures. I'm looking around selling whatever I've got. Old computers, you name it. Just getting rid of assets. If I don't need it, I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to turn it into cash. I'm going to get rid of debt wherever I may have it, or just store that cash, because who knows, there might be some interesting opportunities that come up in the next 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. I don't really know. Now, what's the downside of getting rid of your debt? Well, I'd say there isn't one. Now, you might say the downside is maybe you sell some assets or some stocks that you have some profits in, or maybe not many losses in, and maybe this doesn't happen and we don't have some sort of a recession, and therefore you missed out. Well, I would say the upside is a small chance and the downside is a large chance. That's the way I'm looking at it. So watch our videos on how to get out of debt and how to get rid of your credit card debt, because I don't see this getting any better soon. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe so you don't miss future videos.